Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Finis Smith. He has a brand new track out. It's called You're Only Lonely, and I'm super excited to talk to him all about it. First, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here. It really means a lot. How are you doing? What's going on?
Man, doing great, and thank you for having me, Austin. Man, love your stuff, and it's
Thank
great to be
you.
here.
I appreciate it. Listen, man, good music deserves to be talked about, so I just want to jump right into this.
Awesome.
The first thing here really is like, you're very much at the beginning of releasing music, and
Yes.
I think it's an amazing strategy to hit cover songs because you take this music that is nationally known. I mean, people have known
Mhm.
about this song for 40 plus years at this point, and then
Yes.
you rework it and people get to experience your magic on something that they already loved. It's a perfect
Yes.
strategy. There's literally millions of songs that have been released. Why
It's
did you
true.
pick this one? Why this one specifically?
This one. So I've always been a fan of kind of the Southern California kind of country rocks, kind of people like the Eagles, Linda Ronstadt, all the
Yeah,
Grand Parsons. There, the Fine Burrito Brothers. There was some great music out in that area, and
totally.
this guy right here, J.D. Southers. He never really he wrote some great songs. He never broke out as kind of famous as those folks did.
Yeah.
But he wrote like "New Kid in Town" for the Eagles, "Heartache Tonight." So he really set the foundation for a lot of those bands, writing some good songs. And I believe "You're Only Lonely" is probably one of the only ones that he ever really had major success with.
Hmm.
But so I had a guy to kind of step back. Daryl Dodd is kind of well known in our Texas country area here, and he had a little kind of career there in Nashville, not as much, but he moved back home here and did well. So me and him had been wanting to work together, and he was going to produce me on this project. And we're like, yeah, I like JD Southers, he did too. So we were kind of talking about that, and it was funny enough. Once we actually got the studio time booked and everything happened, he had passed, and we didn't even know it.
Oh,
And so we thought at this point we need to do this project, to kind of honor him and stuff. So just kind of to answer that, just always been a
yeah.
fan of his work and that whole area, that whole work of the California kind of country rock. So,
No, it's a solid answer. And listen,
okay.
when your song got sent to me, I listened to it, but then obviously I went back and listened to the original. And I had
Yes.
heard the original, it sounded very familiar, but I didn't
Yeah.
really know the artist, similar to what
Yeah.
you just said. So I did a little bit of research and saw that he co-wrote New Kid in Town, which coincidentally is my favorite Eagle song of all time.
Oh, it's great.
So
Yeah.
it's one of the songs that, yeah, it's just fantastic. So knowing that he had a part in it, it fully makes sense that it's like you can be so talented and be behind the scenes but never really break out. And it's kind of the saddest thing.
Very, very true.
Yeah,
And to even go back on your first point there of doing the covers and at the beginning of the career, I like older music and I'm very influenced by it. I had an older
sure.
father, but people used to do that back then, I felt like, and now, and I don't know what it is, if it's just trends or what, like, and I don't know exactly what era, if it was the 80s or 90s maybe, but I don't feel like we see people do covers as much. Where, like, if you look back, I feel like I actually saw a little article the other day, like, people would come out with a hit and then like five major artists would hit that same song, which
Exactly. They would
we would
ride
we
the
would never see
coattails.
that. Yeah, we would never
100%.
see Taylor Swift or someone do that today,
Right.
or a bunch of artists. It'd be kind of weird. But
That's a great point. And to kind of just build off it one more time, I think
yeah.
we don't see as many covers because people are using samples as opposed to covering the full song. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll
Yes,
take
exactly.
10 seconds of that song and rework it to be in the song, but the person who's listening has no idea that they took this little sound bite and then overproduced it and then it became this
Oh, yeah.
big thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it's like covers are
Yeah.
happening, but in a very different way than they used to. So you're totally right on that end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
we were lucky
yeah,
to, do that, and it was a fun tune to get to work on.
absolutely. The thing that I notice the most when it comes to covers is people either record them faithfully to the original or they do something that is completely different but still has inspiration. I think what
Yeah.
you've done here, obviously listening to your song multiple times and then listening to the original, is yes, it's very much similar to the original, which,
Mhm.
the song itself isn't, this overproduced pop hit. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
It's
Oh
a
yeah.
very stripped back song that highlights you as a vocalist and a singer and a guitar player and this and that. But with all that being said, you've still managed to kind of put your own spin on it. And I think it's such a delicate line with being able to do that. What was the blueprint? What was like the creation process of making that?
Yeah, and you were kind of right. You hit the nail on the head with that. So, when you do a song, and this is my opinion at least, like if you want to cover any famous song, it's you're never going to do it as good as the original. I mean, we kind of
No.
always get that. So it's kind of a thing where you're kind of like honoring them, like I said, so you want to
Yeah,
keep the kind of foundation, the main structure of that song, I feel like,
sure.
but then try to add your elements as an artist in there, so
Yeah.
you can't because it's kind of hard, I feel like, to keep the same arrangement, and because at that point it can get kind of bland, because that song's already
Yes.
out there, but you can try to change it enough, but not too much, because then of course people can get weird about that too. So if you just take it way
Exactly.
off in left field,
No, and
but
I agree, and I think it also goes back to like it's not like you it's not like you covered Thriller by Michael Jackson, a
yes,
song
yeah,
that people have been listening to, millions of streams per day for years and years. You took a
yeah,
song that is probably, I mean, not probably, is definitely relatively unknown in the
yeah.
grand space of music. So I think that not only when people listen to this, they'll be introduced to you, but then it kind of opens the window to check out JD as well, which is a really beautiful thing and an homage to his life.
Yes, yeah, and that was kind of the nice thing is a lot of people I didn't even realized of that era that have listened to this song we cut. They're like, man, I forgot about that. Like it was kind
Right,
of forgotten.
exactly.
So and you're like, well, that's cool, like to bring it back, to you and stuff, and then it's fun with the younger generation where they don't even know, they kind of think, oh, that's your song, or kind of. Daryl Dodd actually had the one that produced that. He's
Yeah.
known for doing those kind of taking those covers and redoing them. There was a well-known Tom T. Hall song that he had a real big
Mhm.
breakthrough in Texas here called "How I Got to Memphis," and
Right.
it's funny how the younger crowd sometimes when you take those and change them, they're like, "Oh, well, that's a so and so song," and you're like, "No, it's actually this guy. He
Right,
made it,"
right.
and but yeah, it's cool.
Nice. So take me through the recording process here. You said that you worked with this producer. What was the
Yes.
relationship like between you recording the song and then, actually putting the final touches on it?
So, one thing that was a little stressful in it, so we decided within a week. So we recorded in one day there,
Oh,
drove to
wow.
Fort
Okay.
Worth, and then we mastered the next day, and then released that
Nice.
Friday. So it was a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday thing,
Nice.
and it gets kind of scary in ways because I'm a type of guy where I like to sit with a song after I've recorded it and
Yeah.
listen to it. And this one was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna take a leap of faith and jump off here, and hopefully,
Right.
I get caught. So here, but it was awesome to go in there. We went to a great studio in Fort Worth called Fort Worth Sound. Buddy
Hmm.
Bart Rose owns that, and I never worked with Daryl. It was really cool. I've always kind of looked up to Daryl. He's a big guy in our Texas industry, so it was just awesome. The young teenager in me would have just screamed that I got to work with it. It's just cool doing
Awesome.
that. But to work with him, and never meet him in person, that was kind of there were a lot of nerves, but it was great once we finally all got in there and got to working.
Hmm.
And Daryl has such a great ear on arrangements, so just it kind of started to flow, and I feel like
That's
that's the main
awesome.
thing in music. You can't fight it. You just got to let what kind of comes in the studio come, and
Yeah.
it's
I fully agree. And to your point, it's like I don't think people realize how expensive studio time is.
oh
So
yes,
it's just like getting into the studio and it's like, okay, like I want to screw around and I want to appreciate like, yeah, I'm in a real music studio right now, but also let's get down to work, let's do this thing.
yes,
So, the starstruck feeling that you might have been feeling, you're like, okay, I need to cherish this. I need to understand that this is awesome, but
yes.
we also need to get to work here because paying
Exactly,
to
yeah,
be
because you're
here.
right, it is. I mean, it's not a cheap thing at all. So,
No, not at all. So I definitely want to keep talking about the song, but I want to take, kind of a look into the future here because you haven't released too much music, but let me just be honest and say the talent is there. Like I'm excited to see what is next. Have
yes.
you started to think about what is next in terms of either experimentation, more covers, more originals? What's it looking like?
Yeah, the goal is doing some writing right now. I'm working on some co-writing stuff, and hopefully
Cool.
gonna have some more material out. Hope in January. I know that's quick, but you
Yeah,
never know. But I mean, thing right now as an artist, I grew up on a ranch. I'm very heavily country influenced, and I feel like
sure.
that's always going to be part of me. but I just don't know right now where my sound is going to evolve. I feel like I've
Yeah.
just got to let it kind of take me on its journey, the music.
Hmm.
But I think I'm always going to have sounds in my voice and in my arrangements of times before in
Of
whatever era.
course.
If I do kind of more rock style or country, anything kind of pop, I've always just been really influenced by the older sounds of music. Not as today, and maybe hopefully as an artist, that will be the thing that kind of separates me. I'll be kind of that, older
Absolutely.
sounding kind of artist there.
You
So
know, I'm so happy that you bring that up though, because just in the music industry and where we're at right
yeah,
now, 10, 15 years ago, if someone said to me, I want to make country music that, is reminiscent of the 70s and 80s, people might look at you like you're a crazy person, like you're never
yes,
going to
yeah,
be successful doing that. However, right now in 2024, country music is the fastest growing genre. There's
yeah, it
been
is.
this
It's amazing.
insane resurgence and
Yes,
and normal mainstream pop artists that are transitioning into the country realm and they're killing it. You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying? So
Yeah,
it's
and I
like
think
for
it's
you, it's
wonderful. It's great
perfect.
for us. I mean, I think it's there's some that throw Beyonce and some of them heat, but I'm like, man, welcome them in, and I mean,
Yeah,
it's gonna do nothing but give us fans that may have never even listened to us before.
it's what I'm
So,
saying. Listen, if you're in
um,
Beyonce's shoes and you've made 10 pop records, okay, speaking from like an artist standpoint, you maybe are kind of just bored making the 11th pop record.
yeah, yeah, that's
Try
true.
something new. And if people don't like it, who cares? But you fulfilled yourself. You're the
Yes,
one
yeah,
spending the time and energy to make the music. If it's not something that you would want to listen to on a daily basis, why are you spending the time doing it? So it's like if
yes,
if
exactly.
you're drawn to making that style of music from that era, but you can put a modern spin on it, who am I to stop
Yeah,
you? Do what you
yeah,
do. The passion comes out, and that's what brings the people back.
yes, exactly.
Love
But yeah,
that.
that's kind of the thing on it, Though I assume there'll be more covers in my future. I want
Yeah,
to kind of maybe bring that back in a way, but of course, writing original material and to answer that question, just kind of see where it goes. So
absolutely.
I
And
feel
there's
like
no
it'll be a
rush
fun
on it.
journey.
If
Yeah.
there's one thing I enjoy about country music the most, truly, is that the music feels the most sincere. You can listen to 100 pop, rap, hip hop songs, and it's like
Yes.
these made up situations that you know didn't happen. But for
Yes.
me, country music is about storytelling. It's with a focus on songwriting. And for someone like you need to actually live your life in order to write the songs. You can't
Yeah.
rush the art before you get out there and live.
Yes, yes. And I think that's what's always drawn me to country was the songwriting and people really living
Yeah,
those lives. And that even and I feel like, singers sometimes are actors. Like you can sing another song,
right.
but you need to make that believable to your audience. But at the same time, I'm sitting there with a song and I'm like, okay, do I live this? Like, can I pull this off? With the,
Exactly.
and I think that's a big thing country tries to do, the artists do, try to really be that song.
I
And
agree. I think also for your sake, again, someone who's just really starting out, making a name for themselves, covers are fantastic because it kind of broadens the reach. It's great
yes,
for searching, but in the meantime, it allows you to live your life and then write those originals. You create the
exactly,
fan base, and then it's like, hey, original, cover, original, and then you space it out. And look, you've got a whole calendar of single releases, and that's just how it
exactly.
goes.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
have you had the opportunity to play live yet? And if you haven't, is that something that you'd like to do?
Yes, I have. So I would say I've been off and on. I really started back in 2019, just
Okay,
kind of in our little region. We're very blessed in
sure.
Texas to have a great kind of music scene, live venues
Oh,
and
it's
stuff.
fantastic.
And but like every other artist, COVID kind of derailed me there. And
Yep.
it didn't seem until really 2023 is when I kind of felt like I
Hmm.
could get back up and kind of go again. So I
Totally.
would say in 23 I started, and 23 was a great year, and 24 has even been better. So we've got a lot of gigs scheduled for 25. So I have been getting to play kind of and down here, which is fun. The kind of dance hall scene, for people dancing, not as much
Exactly.
of crowd. So, but it kind of has to work you as an entertainer in different ways, like watching them and
Totally.
calling certain songs not too fast, slow when they get tired,
Right.
kind of that. So it's fun.
Yeah, that's got to be difficult though, because, if you're playing somewhere where not necessarily people didn't buy a ticket, but they just want to have a good time,
Yes,
Like
yeah.
it's about crafting the set list to make sure that they're having fun, but you're also fulfilling yourself.
Yes, exactly.
And so
Yes.
like what does a sample set list look like from you?
Oh man, it can have anything from like the Eagles, Take It
Yeah,
Easy, and then it can have George Strait, and
sure.
even get some Merle Haggard kind of
Nice,
a
nice.
little bit of everything, mainly pretty country though. So,
Yeah,
kind
no,
of the
listen,
80s and
you play to the
90s
crowd.
and a little before. Yeah.
You play to the crowd, and that's what it's all about. It's building the name, it's getting your name out there. That's what it is. We've covered it a little bit, but I gotta say, we're recording this midway through October. There's a
Yes.
month and a half, 2.5 months, whatever, left of this year. It sounds like you've got your eyes set on January to really kick off the new year in terms of new music. What
Yes.
are some big plans or just some things that you'd like to see happen in 25?
Some things in 25 get quite a bit more material out. This year we released our first single, Ain't Love Grand. If y'all haven't heard it, y'all need to check it
I
out there.
have. It was
All
awesome. And
platforms. Yeah. And
everything will be linked for everyone to listen. But
oh,
yeah, it's a
perfect,
great
perfect.
song.
Perfect, thank you. And but yeah, so more material. I did that one in April, and this one came out, and I really didn't plan on it. Like I said, it came out
Sure.
here just really quick. But try to do whatever the kind of normal algorithm on that is. Like if it's every 6 weeks. I've heard so many
Yeah.
different things people say, but
It's
more material out for the people there, and trying to of course work on social media. I mean that's always a booger for everybody. It's
yeah.
very important. And get some more gigs under my belt. Like we're doing probably 30 dates a year now, but maybe be
Nice.
nice to double that. So that'd be
Yeah.
kind of fun.
30
So
dates is not a small amount. You talk to
yeah,
any independent artist and they're lucky to get one.
yes,
Thankfully you're in a spot where music is thriving. People want to go out and do things, and what better
yes,
to have a
and
live music?
yeah, and that's the funny thing. You run around people that aren't as much educated in the music industry. They're like, "Oh, are you going to go to Nashville?" And I'm like, I'm very satisfied here now. Now, of course, maybe one day I would love to be a big Nashville artist, but
Sure.
Texas offers so much to us in the venues and
Right.
getting to grow your local followings. And those people are pretty loyal. They'll follow you 4 hours. It's amazing. And
That's the
um,
thing, man. It's like
yeah,
I've spent a lot of time interviewing artists from Nashville. And
yes,
again, 10, 15 years ago, it might have been a little easier. And I'm not
hmm
saying that it's overcrowded, but there are a ton of artists in Nashville trying to do the
yes,
same thing. And it's
yes,
like, yeah, I don't know. I kind of think what you're doing here of targeting the local scene, and I'm not saying that, Dallas, Fort Worth area is small because it's certainly huge,
yeah,
but at the same time, musically and artist wise, it maybe feels a little less competitive. So focusing on
yeah.
where you're at and building that space up kind of feels like the best bet.
Yeah, yeah, it's felt good and it's happened natural, It's just kind of
Yeah,
it's worked out, and this gig has turned into that, and it's another connection, and it's just been really nice. So, um,
awesome. Um, that's awesome, dude. I have a couple more questions for you. I want to know because, you're a person that was obviously raised on the classics or what is now considered to be a classic. Are there any modern country artists or even modern just general artists that you're really enjoying these days and that you found inspiration in?
two one is Zach Top. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I
He's
have
doing
not.
great things. You need to check him out in kind of the country music stuff there, and then the Red Clay Strays. They're
Okay,
doing some cool
okay.
stuff. They're another great group. Of course, Charlie Crockett, if you've
Yeah,
heard of him.
I
So,
have.
so I think there's still, there's some artists that are kind of doing the same thing that I'm wanting to do and preserve some of that older sound. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. And
And
I've
it's
got
great. You can see it
inspiration from them.
works.
Yes, yeah.
Totally. I have one more for you, and I basically want to know, I think people will listen to this and they'll watch this and then they'll listen to your music. Is there something that you'd like to say to them, is like an opening message before they listen for the first time?
Well, I hope they can connect with it, and I hope it moves them in a good way.
Hmm.
Either one, ain't love grand. That you're loved.
Yeah.
Look who's only now. Look, know that somebody's there if you need them. I
Yeah.
hope my music can always move people, and I hope it's something that excites them for more music to come from me. So,
course. And listen, there's plenty more on the way. I will
Oh,
just say it for you.
yeah, yeah,
Listen, Finest, I wanna thank you so much for taking the time. But before we wrap up here, I want to plug everything.
yeah.
So if you didn't know, for anyone who's listening or watching, I'm speaking with Finis Smith. The song is called You're Only Lonely. Of course, we'll have the links in our article and everywhere else so that you can listen, share, follow along, stay tuned for more. Seems like 2025 is going to be the biggest year yet. I'm excited, man, because there's just something about this music that just makes you feel good inside.
Yeah.
Like it's just wholesome stuff. And I think just generally the world needs a little more wholesome music in their life. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Well, yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. All right, listen, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
You
I
too.
hope to speak soon and
Yeah,
take care. Good luck with the rest of the year.
sounds good. Let's do it again, and thank you so much.
Awesome. Absolutely. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye bye.